Pikira, I wonder the same every day.
Tibby tugs at the neck of her uniform and rolls her dark eyes at the undersecretary when she thinks he's not looking.
Tebe learns to perform her duties as a Rawatayan might.
The undersecretary straightens his back and squares his shoulders.
Her fellow Juana show a lamentable disinterest in the proper way of doing things.
He nods curtly in Tibby's direction.
Do not speak about me as if I am not here.
What is an undersecretary exactly?
A career sandal sniffer and busybody, so far as I can tell.
Tibby shrugs.
You ungrateful sag! I am the second in command to Fleet Master Okaya, the governor of your piddling little island, and I will not be mocked by a smart-mouthed idler like you!
The undersecretary jowls quiver with barely contained rage.
So I have heard many, many times.
Tibby meets your eyes and raises his brows emphatically. Is it just me, or is this guy terrible?
You don't know the half of it.
An impish smile plays at the corner of her mouth.
What was that, Greeter Tebe?
Surely just the breeze, Undersecretary.
Tibby's impish smile grows into a mocking grin.
You will call me Sir.
Akira, I certainly will not.
Oh, I'm not even trying for the Triple Crown, dude. That would be way too much. Clearing your throat once and then again, Maya raises her eyes to yours when you glance over.
Oh, you wanted something, Captain?
You were the one trying to get my attention.
What, me?
Maya chuckles and crosses her arms.
Been trying to say that it's a pity you're already accounted for, Captain. You're halfway towards being a decent catch. Forget I said anything. It's not important.
Maya cocks to her fist and glances away.
I've got some answers.
Whoa, I could be with Maya, dude. Instead of Shodi? Dude, the thing is I like Maya a lot more than Shodi. Oh, man. Okay. I'm gonna save, and I just want to see what happens if I reload. I want to reload and see what happens if I can be with Maya instead of Shodi. I really like Shodi, like as a character, but like Maya, just like I don't know, her voice is so much cooler.
We're awake right now, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
What can I do you for? Yeah? Tell me what's on your mind?
We need to break up. Shodi back shoots Ramrod straight, her expression turning just as stiff. All signs of her usual mirth wiped abruptly from her face.
Think carefully before you speak next, because I don't do takebacks.
It's over. She sighs, all the fight draining out of her that quick.
I know I can sometimes come across a tad too intense. I guess I'm not surprised it had to come to this. So you'd best be sleeping with one eye open for the remainder of our trip.
She smiles sweetly, but there's a disturbing warped gleam to her eyes. Oh god, what have I done, guys? What have I done?
Welcome to Sayuka. You are well.
No,
We need to redo this
Can you
conversation.
questions? You forgot to mention the Jai. No one.
Super.
I say, Pikira.
Tebe fellow.
Do not speak about me as a career.
You are.
So I have heard. You don't know.
What was that?
Surely just.
You will call.
Akira. I certainly.
Oh, you wanted something, Captain? What, me? I'll go ahead and say it. You're halfway toward all right.
Maya purses her lips and appraises you up and down. Just halfway? Is that really all?
A captain is better than my usual slim pickings. which is a bunch of lore college dropouts playing sailor. Hypothetically speaking, I mean.
She clears her throat.
Have you ever... Dumb question, but here I go anyway.
Maya folds her arms and shifts her weight from one foot to the other.
You ever gotten close to someone, even though it just wasn't... ordinary?
You mean like... with another woman?
If that's your idea of out of the ordinary, then you need a lesson, my friend. Below deck, there are only 2 rules. Keep it interesting and remember your bitter squash.
She pats a pouch at her side.
What I'm talking about is a scenario where a difference in rank can get in the way of enjoying shore leave.
I haven't been a captain for very long, you know?
Well, that's why we have these little chats. I'm just testing the direction of the wind here. Best not to overthink it.
On the shuriken, the captain gets to make the rules.
Interesting answer. I like the sound of that authority. I've enjoyed that sort of arrangement before. Nothing to suggest I won't enjoy it again someday.
Maya plants her hands on her hip and smiles to herself. Sooner rather than later, one hopes.
Depends on what's in front of me and what's on the horizon, Captain. Well, I've laid out my thoughts. You must have a couple.
I like you, Maya. Let's see where this goes.
Be a pleasure, Captain.
The edges of Maya's mouth crack with a repressed smile.
Funny thing is that Ishii can get particular about people.
Maya glances down at her bird, hiding a tiny smile.
And when he doesn't take to someone, neither do I.
What exactly does Ishiza look for in a special friend?
I'm sure he'd tell you if you asked nicely. Not everyone's a bird lover, that's fine. Some days I can't stand another second of Captain Stinkfeathers. But Ishii and I are never parted for longer than a few breaths. Take that however you will.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but I think I'd like to speak with your bird.
Try not to use any foul language.
Chuckling to herself, Maya steps back and gives you space. Ah! Perking up at attention, Ishiza takes a cautious hop closer. He tips his head to the side and fixes you with a scrutinizing glare. Try to read Ishiza's soul. No sooner do you bridge distance to Ishiza's soul than he turns his cold, mismatched gaze towards you. The force of his attention hits you like a whip.
Well, this is unexpected.
A voice cuts through the din of your thoughts, a feminine one, accompanied by the sound of feathers rustling against each other. First Andre, now you? Are any of the gods not spying on me through my crewmates?
I can think of one, but was your question rhetorical? I can think of one, but was your question rhetorical?
Glancing in the direction, Maya frowns as you, to all outward appearance, whisper to yourself.
What exactly did you set out to accomplish by peering into the soul of this noble creature?
I thought that if I got the bird to like me, then Maya would like me.
I see.
A slight breeze ruffles Ishiza's feathers.
You must put a great deal of faith in Maya to find yourself in this situation. Are you so certain that she deserves your trust? The prospect of sharing her company. I can tell from here that it intrigues. Far be it from me to judge affection. Better that it bloom or wilt uninterrupted.
Elia lets out a wistful sigh that manifests as a cool breeze around your neck.
While the Deadfire is being cut, cauterized, and trampled, it is charming to find someone who makes time for such elaborate foreplay.
Foreplay? Oh, God. Any advice that could help me out here?
I can say for certain that this is a very hungry, overworked, and at times underappreciated bird.
Hey, Reckless, what's up, dude? Ishiza spreads open his wings, studying his own plumage with evident curiosity.
He and Maya share that much in common, at least. Beyond that, I leave the rest up to you.
You receive the mental impression of an amused shrug. What's your take on Maya? Upon catching her name being spoken, Maya furrows her brow and glances your way again. She seems to the verge of speaking up, but then shakes her head and resumes her business.
You often turn to birds for relationship advice. I sense that Maya does not easily allow others into her confidence. She is observing you closer than you might guess. She has much on her mind. This may all be a whimsical diversion. That, or she is softening you up for the red work of her masters. Or, didn't you know?
Know what?
Perhaps it isn't for me to say. All in good time. I babble. What does the goddess of creativity know of kith courtship?
Ichiza tips his head to the side and winks. I answered your question, now you answer mine. What are you doing in Ishiza's soul?
Observing. The one you call Ishiza makes for a convenient lens into your travels. Try not to take it too personally.
I guess we're finished for now.
Best of luck in your mating ritual, Watcher.
Oh, dude! The presence pulls away and you find yourself once again staring into the eyes of an alert, if less intelligent Ishiza. Try to feed Ishiza. As you open your package, Ishiza hops closer, craning back his head to observe with interest. He turns away disappointed, scratching to the ground with his talon. Evidently, you aren't carrying anything that he wants. Who's a good bird? Then he got a high-pitched warble. Ishiza tucks his beak in amongst his wing feathers. You take this to mean that he's a very good bird. That'll be all. Carry on, bird.
I hope that was as amusing for you as it was for me.
Maya folds her arms and grins.
I've got some answers.
What does Ishiza likes to eat?
Trying to get on his good side, are ya?
Maya nods, amused.
He's developed a taste for shark meat since we arrived at the Deadfire. Going back to the Rawatayan diet will be hard on us both.
She sighs and plants her hands on her hips. Okay, we gotta find a vendor that has shark meat. True Gaming, thank you so much for that host. You a vendor? You find a man dressed in worn, dirty leather armor. His long, scraggly beard is encrusted with salt. His curling hair has clearly not seen a comb in some time, and the toenails of his bare feet are cracked and torn. The only thing of any value that he carries is an amulet.
Oh, greetings.
He hesitates a moment before saying more.
Might I help you with something?
Tell me about yourself.
I suppose.
He looks at you quizzically, perhaps unsure what you've asked him such a personal question.
I was a proud man once. A gold pack knight. Then I took a job and it went poorly. I could no longer stay with the Order after that.
His eyes take on a faraway look as he remembers.
In the years since, I have wandered the length of the Deadfire, dedicating my life to self-discipline and abstination from worldly distractions. It is only through suffering that the soul becomes strong. Do you understand?
That's it?
Well, I am waiting for someone. But I do not know when they will arrive or who they will be when they get here. All I know is that they are a seer, and they seek me. So I wait.
Then how would you recognize them?
I will not, but it does not matter. I have this amulet here, and I yet draw breath. That is all I need.
Can I have it?
No? Someone is coming for me. and they will know my amulet.
You shouldn't have faith that this seer will find you without it. That's a true test.
Perhaps you have a point.
He gently tugs the amulet off over his head. He holds it in his palm a moment, his expression unreadable, then hands it to you.
Just, please, take good care of it.
Tell me about yourself.
I was a proud in the
we know.
years since. I should hope that you do, young woman.
Can you teach me what you've learned in your years wandering the Deadfire?
I have already given you my most prized possession, and you ask for more still. Fine. I will show you what I can. For 3,000 copper.
I don't think so.
Fine by me.
I don't have the money, is that it? No, I do have the money. Why would my character do it, though? I don't have the option to pay him. Why? Claim and refusal. Grants claim. 10% damage taken from melee attacks plus 10% damage with melee attacks. The serene face focuses the wearer's mind and soul with purpose and acceptance. And refusal. The face of suffering twisted with madness. Decreases melee damage dealt and receive. This pendant bears the crest of an adherent patrician house to whom an unwanted child was born. The elf girl was cloistered within her chambers for most of her young life. She suffered terrible bouts of fits and hallucinatory fevers, to which her neglectful parent turned a blind eye. Her human stepmother, by way of Emneg, had empathy for the girl and cared for her almost exclusively. On reaching maturity, the girl left to travel the countryside. She claimed her vision had begun to clarify, giving her a glimpse into the past, present, and future. She began to tell strikingly accurate fortunes for an ever-growing throng of followers. Her parents were mortified that their daughter had left her privileged station behind to become a vagabond mystic. Eventually, the girl's prediction turned into a full-blown prophecy and proselytizing. It took little time for the local clergy to brand her an heretic. Her parent dispatched her human stepmother to confront her daughter and reclaim her family pendant, officially dissolving any connection to her. When the stepmother arrived at the prophetess camp, the crowd parted for her as if by silent command. Her stepdaughter, having predicted her arrival, beckoned her into her tent. She knew why she had come. The next morning, the two had vanished. Only the pendant remained. Wow. Okay. Still need a vendor, though. This game board is scuffed and scratched from frequent use. Weto, Tipa, and Wahari. A broad-shouldered man with a long, jagged scar across his brow argues with a woman outside the longhouse. He throws his hands up, about to shout, but the woman cuts him off mid-exclamation.
I will not return to the longhouse, Weto, never! And I won't blunt my teeth about it further!
She plants her hands firmly on her hips and juts out her chin in defiance.
But what are you so stubborn? The Rowatayans do us a great favor and you spit in their faces.
Weto ceases his shouting when he notices you listening in.
My sister, is there something I can do for you?
Is there a problem here?
Not at all, not at all. My sister and I are just having a small disagreement.
Weto rubs at the back of his neck and looks away embarrassed.
It is because you speak like this that I yell at you in the first place. You're beginning to sound like those Rowatayan outlanders, and it shames me to say so.
What's your problem with the Rowatayans?
Ignore her. She has an urchin up her ass about her cousins from the north and can't be persuaded. I should know. I've tried.
He shoots Tipa an irritated look and rolls his eyes.
Is it so unreasonable to want to protect my culture, our culture, from our greedy neighbors?
She spits on the ground between you and grits her teeth.
They arrive in ships laden with goods they believe will please us and think that gives them the right to build their walls on our land. Then they act surprised when we don't all fall at their feet with cries of gratitude.
She has a point.
Akira, don't encourage her. I will never hear the end.
We are no strangers to the menaces of the Deadfire. Pirates, colonials, Nagati's children. We have bested all of them before. We don't need them or their walls to keep us safe, and we surely don't need their longhouse.
But why do you support the Rautaians?
We are no strangers to storms. But last year we suffered many powerful ones in quick succession. And our harvest of Koiki fruit was destroyed. Prize share was rationed. Famine loomed. And then the Rautaians sent ships. Load after load of food, enough to see us to the next harvest. They could have left us to die, but they didn't.
It was only a ploy to make us dependent on them, Akira. We took their food and helping hands, and now we sleep in their buildings and watch the sea from their walls.
What does all of this to do with the Longhouse?
Another of the Rautaians' tricks. When our huts were destroyed in the storms, they did not rebuild them like they were as we requested. They built this longhouse instead. Are you not one people? They said. Why do you live divided, each caste apart from the others? They believe they know what's best for us, but how we live is not their business. The Fleet Master says we are weak because we don't work as one. She doesn't see that it's our differences that make the Huana strong. She doesn't want to see it, lest it put the lie to their enterprise here.
The Huana and Rautaians are both Umawa. Why not be allied?
Under whose banner? Rauatai's? Then we cease to be Huana as surely as if they conquered us.
We have the land and resources Rauatai needs, and they have the military might we lack. We share a common ancestor. Why not create a common culture? Together we would be strong.
I say, if you truly believe that, then you're a bigger fool than I thought.
The Huana should forge their own path.
Akira, I don't need you to tell me as much. But I appreciate your support nonetheless.
Tippa nods and gives you a tight smile.
It is gratifying to be heard and understood. That an Outlander could do this and my brother could not shames us both.
Caught between the Valians and the Rauataians, we will be crushed. We need a strong ally to survive the coming years.
Widow shakes his head sadly. He tries to put his hand on his sister's shoulders, but she shrugs him off, a look of disgust skirting her lips.
I hate to see Tippa and Widow fight.
Okay. Are there no vendors here at all? This massive swordfish could feed all of Sayuka for a week at least.
I don't believe we know one another. Per Complanca, leave me be.
Wait, Rimaro? Okay, Sake, see you later. Isn't that the guy we're looking for with Seraphin? I think it is. Ah. As you approach, the fish vendor flashes you a broad, cheery grin. He beckons you over with a wave of his hand and directs your attention to his latest delivery. What do you have for sale?
All the wonders of the sea, and more besides.
He directs you to a display selling the day's catch. Aged shark meat. That's what I wanted.
Speak your mind, Captain.
I want to speak with Yoshiza.
I'll give you two lovebirds some room to chat.
Shaking her head and wearing a grin, Maya gestures for you to have on. Try to feed Yoshiza. As you open your pack, Yoshiza steps closer. His pupil narrow with desire as he catches a whiff of shark meat. Swim some shark meat in his direction. Pecking at it delicately at first, Yoshiza tosses caution to the wind and devours the hunch of meat with wild abandon. He looks you up at you imploringly. Offer him some more. You accept the offering eagerly, picking apart and forcing down the meat with untrammeled joy. This time his look is determined, ravenous. He pecks at your belongings that he would like he would a ripe carcass. Offer him some more. He flaps his wing and descends on the meat, throwing back his head to choke as much down in a single go as possible.
Now that is what I'd call a happy bird.
Maya folds her arms and grins.
Not to mention a fat bird. Pretty soon I'll have to roll him around like a cask of ale.
Are we on friendlier terms yet?
It didn't take you long to open up to the idea at first. I like that eagerness. Let's say you've graduated to achieving the bare minimum of my favor.
Maya folds her arms and grins.
Which is farther than most anyone gets.
Where do we go from here?
Well?
Touching your arm, Maya surprises herself with a gesture and pulls her hand away just as fast. Her fingers felt calloused and very warm.
Sorry. I'm not new to this. I'm just not used to sharing company longer than a single voyage.
I don't know yet. Tomorrow we're starting Den in Vinland. So I don't know when we'll play Frostpunk again. Probably this week, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. I loved Frostpunk. Like, trust me, I freaking loved it. But I just have so many games that I need to play soon. So yeah. So we'll be playing that tomorrow. Yeah, Den in Vinland. Oh, you did, Ericlus! Awesome, dude! That's super cool, man. That's really, really cool.
I can't say where this goes next, but I'm keen on where it is now.
What do you look for in a partner?
I've enjoyed female company in the past, in case, for any reason, you were wondering. A man will do in a pinch, as long as their best thinking comes from the appropriate brain. I just get a feeling about certain people, no matter their equipment. I usually go for the clever ones, though they're not always clever enough to tell that I'm available. What about you? What do you fancy?
I find myself unusually attracted to military sharpshooters.
That right.
She raises her fingers to her lips and smiles.
We're all slaves to our own nameless want, aren't we?
She shakes her head, grinning. I think we both want this as long as it's on our terms.
Sounds nice when you say it like that. A little wholesome for my taste, but nice. However it pans out, thanks for taking the time. And for the bird food.
I've got some answers.
Let's be off. It should make for some good recordings. A young woman leans against the till, her eyes half closed. She jerks awake when she hears the scuff of your boots on the flagstone and fumbles about for something to polish in an effort to look busy.
What can I do for you?
She surreptitiously wipes a bit of drool from the corner of her mouth. What do you have in stock?
Put your eyes on these.
She waves her hand across the merchandise with a theatrical flair. Oh. Stalker's Patience. A spear, a legendary spear. A Jamut, a dwarf matron of Nasita, carried the spear on many of her long hunts. To feed her tribe, she required a tool that could put a beast down quickly from ambush. She had no intention of dishonoring herself on the hunt by merely maiming her quarry. If she failed to grant the animal a clean kill, the barbed spearhead at least granted her assurance her prey would tire, weaken, and expire from blood loss. Wow. Distreo. Great sword two-handed. The pirate known as Daneric the Bloody, captain of the Claret, carried this sword during a years-long campaign of murder and mayhem that took him from the seas of Aether to the shores of the White Wens. It was indiscriminate in his violence, preying on merchants and other pirates alike in his quest for treasures and blood. The ships of his many victims were often discovered adrift, their decks littered with corpses and the rigging strewn with severed heads. Driven only by his insatiable need to spill blood, Daneric eventually began to forego even plundering the vessels. As his infamy grew, entire flotillas set sail with the express purpose of hunting down the Claret and her captain. Denric's crew, dissatisfied with the lack of loot and disillusioned by Denric's malevolent deeds, eventually sold him out to Valiant pirate hunters in exchange for clemency and a sizable bounty. When the Valiant boarded, Denric's crew turned on their captain. Savages later discovered the claret floating adrift. The headless bodies of both crews covered the deck. Neither the Valiant frigate nor Captain Deneric were anywhere to be found. Dude! Okay. It's pretty rough, man. Oh, red tear. The Strauss pummeled gem